In this video, we're going to have 18 FAQs about Virgin Voyages. So I'm Charlene and this is Sam of MoreIslandJumper.travel.
Hey.
And since cruising has only been back for about a year now, we're recording this in July of 2022, there still seems to be a lot of questions people are asking about Virgin. And I think this is because the cruisers that are cruising went back to their favorite cruise lines. And because Virgin is new, nobody really had discovered them as of yet. So we're still getting a lot of questions as if they're a brand new company, even though they've been out for, you know, a year now.
Right. Yeah, they're, well, even after a year, I think anything's a little bit new and they're a little bit different, so it's just taking them longer to catch on.
And this leads us perfectly into FAQ number 1 is this cruise line like any other cruise line? And the answer is no. And we have a whole video about that we filmed while we were on back-to-back Virgin Voyages cruise in December about who we think would really enjoy Virgin and who might not. And vacation time is important and precious, and you definitely don't want to take a chance on something that you really think would not work for you. So Virgin has set out to be different in basically every way other than you get on a ship and you go to ports of call. They have no main dining room, they have no children, everybody on board is over 18, and basically no dress code per se. So that really changes the vibe of the ship, and we found that it's very different.
Yeah, and the ship is even laid out differently than a lot of the ships that we've been on. Most of the ships we've been on and have looked at going on have a main area of some sort. They've got Centrum, or they've got a main mall sort of area in the middle of the ship, those kinds of things. There's not really that. I guess there's a middle section, but it feels broken up. It doesn't feel like every place is a little bit different on Virgin ship. Yeah,
it's definitely, the whole ship is laid out kind of, I think, with discovery in mind and more kind of with a yacht feel to it. So there's different areas to go hang out depending on kind of what suits your vibe and what suits you. But just suffice it to say, it has got a completely different feel than all the other cruise lines. It is not formal, it is not stuffy. The closest thing they have to a formal night is the Scarlet night, where everybody wears red, but they have like lots of pool parties and non-house bands and other things that we'll kind of get into later on. It is a different experience, so beware if you're ready for something different. If you found the traditional cruise lines to maybe just be a little bit too stuffy, too grandma-y, then this might be something you want to consider.
Agreed. Number 2, what costs extra? The drink package doesn't exist. You have to buy a bar tab if you would like to do what is roughly equivalent. In my opinion, it's sort of a better way to do that, because on a traditional cruise ship, you buy a drink package and everybody who's in the room has to buy it. Yeah. Most of the cruises we've been on or read about or researched all have that sort of thing set up, that style of getting your drink package. So for somebody like us, I don't know whether you can tell this, but I'm almost a foot taller than her.
It's hard for me to keep up.
So yeah, she peters out and can't really get the benefit of a drink package that she buys for herself. And you also feel, and when I've done it, you feel a little bit of pressure to keep up with, okay, I have to drink 8 drinks today, otherwise I'm not getting my money's worth.
Right, to break even or something like that. So there's a lot of things that are included, and we're going to talk about that next. But some of the other things that are not included are, there's high tea on the first sea day, and that's an extra price. It's fun. It is fun. It's about 20 bucks if you don't do the champagne package, and I think it was like maybe 45 if you did the endless champagne.
It was not very expensive.
I'm sure it could change, so check into that. There were some classes, like there was a class on how to take really good pictures of food and post it on Instagram. There's a cocktail class, and both of those were an upcharge. There are some menu items that cost extra, but I barely even noticed them because I found plenty of things that I wanted in the normal menus.
Yeah, I don't think we ever upgraded to anything that cost anything.
I just didn't feel like I needed to do that. But for the most part, most things are included.
There's also like some games that you can play on board. Some of them have some expense related to. There's a seahorse race where you can bid to buy a seahorse. You don't have to. You can play the game without doing it, but if you spend some money, then you have a little skin in the game, I guess.
I think it's kind of a gambling thing. So of course.
Hey John, if you're watching, comment down below about what that was like. A friend of ours did that.
Yeah, define that better, because we didn't get it, but we're gonna go, and next time we're gonna know the answer. So of course gambling costs extra. The spa costs extra. Specialty coffee costs extra. Fresh fresh pressed juice costs extra, and I think there's some like shakes that cost extra, and then
did that shake you bought for me, the like whiskey milkshake
that
thing?
cost extra.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be extra.
Oh, because that's on your bar tab though. If you had a bar tab,
you could put that on your bar tab. Yes, and then of course there's a tattoo parlor, and that costs extra, and then there's like a hair salon that costs extra, and then merchandise, of course, that costs extra. But for the most part, we'll like transition right to number 3, which what's included. So gratuities are included as a price of your fare, so you don't need to do extra tips for your housekeeping. You don't need to do extra tips for your drinks,
which ends up being kind of a big thing when you're actually looking at the price between the things. That it's a big thing because it comes at the end of your cruise, not at the front end of your cruise, to pay the gratuities on a regular cruise. Yeah,
unless you prepay them, but still, that's just an extra expense that's not included in the fare in most of the other cruise lines, and it's something noteworthy. It starts changing the way that really cheap cruise looks when you start having to add in certain basics. There's fitness classes. Group fitness classes are included as a part of the price of admission. There is basically there's no main dining room, so it's only specialty dining and the galley, and all of that is included as a part of the price.
And even the galley feels a little bit like specialty restaurants. You know, they got bento boxes and they've got just cool kind of stuff in there.
Very unique foods, and different things are open at different times, so it does have a little bit of a different offering. And we did find that the diner was open 24/7. So unlike other cruise lines that you've got to really you've really got to work hard to find stuff on off hours.
It's a sore point with her. There's a couple of times that she's hungry that things have been closed. When they're switching over in the main dining rooms or in the buffet is a time when typically it can be hard to find some food, and that's when she gets a little bit peckish.
Yeah, I'm like a big fan of dinner, so I like to eat something around 3 to 4 o'clock, and it's really difficult to get something that time on most cruise ships. So,
but it's also available late at night too, because this is a late night ship in a lot of ways, and so you've got your midnight snacks that you can be having.
Right. And of course all the entertainment is included, and there are lots of pool parties, and there's like a pool party every night, and that's included. So it does have definitely some extras that some of the other cruise lines do not have as part of the price. And then there's a game room with actually video games, and those don't cost extra.
Yeah, that's right.
Which is, obviously 50 cents or a token or whatever, not a big deal, but that stuff kind of like, in my opinion, just kind of like adds up to annoying. And also there's...
What just adds a little bit of kind of, woo, this is cool, I get to go play this game, this little video game that I haven't played since I was a kid, that's kind of fun.
Exactly. And then water. There is a carafe of water in each of the rooms, and I just find it really annoying when I've got to pay like $3 or $5 for a bottle of water. I'm like creating a bunch of trash that I don't appreciate, and I'm having to pay for water that I have available in my room. It's just like a little touch that I think is just really smart.
And you can have still or sparkling.
You can, just for whichever one that you would like.
Or if you're in a suite, you can have both.
Or they have both in there. Oh, and one thing I forgot that was included is basic Wi-Fi. You can upgrade, so I guess it really is number 2 and number 3. You can upgrade to a faster if you need streaming, or probably if you're trying to work or something. But we used the basic Wi-Fi, and I thought it was adequate.
And I actually used the Wi-Fi on that ship, and I don't normally do that. Normally I get on these ships and stay away from Wi-Fi, but I used it for various different things, and their app was somewhat functional and useful for me. Alright, so number 4 is what kind of activities are on here? Am I going to get bored?
No, you won't get bored. I don't think, anyway. So I guess one easy thing to do is to check the app, and you can book things on the app, and the cool thing about the app is it gives you like a 30-minute warning before an activity is about to start. That's it kind of helps you keep on track if you've got something you want to do. And I think that if there's a lot of things going on that is not a part of the app, so if you get bored, go wander around and you'll probably stumble into
across something
activity happening.
Or people doing something that looks like fun to join in.
Right.
People that you perhaps have met during some of the other things that you've done. Seems like it's a real friendly kind of ship, and it's bring your crew, so if you got a crew, that's fun.
Yeah, I think it definitely is if you have a group of people with you, I think that's even better than maybe necessarily going alone. On sea days, they have this big trunk where they have board games, and that gets really heavily used. The social club area that has the video games and foosball and air hockey.
Craft brewery.
Craft brewery, yeah, that area fills up on sea days. One thing there won't be, though, is they won't have a t-shirt sale on a sea day. That's just not how they do things. So if you see something in the gift shop that you want, you better get it, because they, with the supply chain issues, they are running out of things pretty quickly.
The stuff they had was kind of cool too. They've said that their promotional stuff says that they have stuff you'll actually want to buy, and I found that to be true. The stuff that was in there was stuff that I went, oh yeah, this is kind of nice. Not that there weren't things on other ships that I wanted to buy, but there was also a lot of stuff that was
things that maybe we just didn't need. Also, the stores on the ship are, if you forgot something, like maybe you forgot some shorts or something that you needed to wear. There were some like clothes that I definitely would have been happy to have if I had room in my suitcase.
I have a t-shirt.
That's true. We had a t-shirt because I forget what we had. You get wet or something anyway. Yeah.
I think I may have just liked it. It was an octopus t-shirt. You'll probably see it at some point in the video.
Yeah, definitely. And that's a very cool shirt. And people like
commented on it.
Yeah,
too.
It was
and I think they sold out. Too.
Yeah, because it was a cool shirt. So definitely, if you see something that you like, this is definitely one of the times you want to get it quickly. Number 5, do I need to book dinner reservations and reservations for entertainment on the app?
I think the answer is no, but you should.
Right. I would highly recommend it. You don't have to, but I would highly recommend it, especially if you're trying to get a particular dinner time or into a particular restaurant. On the Scarlet Lady, because it's doing 4-day and 5-day rotations, there are more restaurants than you can go in one sailing, and we struggled to get to all of them on a back-to-back. We did a 10-day, we did 5-day and a 5-day, and we struggled to get to everything. Yeah. So if there's something you've got to have, you want to get that booked straight away.
Well, yeah, and I will say this too: some of them were more popular than others and harder to get into. Yeah. There was one of them on both of our back-to-back sailings. It was difficult to get into anytime earlier than like about 8 o'clock at night. All the early things got booked up pretty quick.
So it can be a bit of a challenge, and then the entertainment can move around a little bit. So you want to kind of keep an eye on that.
But you are going to get to eat. I want to say that on the restaurants. It's not that you're not going to be able to find a restaurant that you can get into.
Yeah.
It's just that if you have a specific one that you want to get into, sometimes it may be difficult to find a reservation for it, because this is like a restaurant in your hometown, and sometimes those really popular ones might get booked up.
Right, so you might need to eat a little later than you're used to. But I think for the most part, and like I was saying earlier, if you book something on the app that you want to do, it gives you a 30-minute warning. I think that's really handy. The app I felt was really easy to use. It kind of froze up a couple times on me, but I think you had not really.
I didn't have too many problems at all with the app. No.
And there was a lot of complaints about the app, and then when we sailed on another cruise line's ship and used their app, I want everybody to shut up about the Virgin app. It did much better than the other app from the other cruise line that we will talk about in another video.
Yeah, now, we do have Android, so I don't know, I think maybe the people complaining were having trouble with the Apple version of the app, so that could be, I don't know exactly, but I do know that Virgin has been iterating on that app the whole times, and I think it's better. We'll find out and report back.
And you do all of your pre-booking stuff, like your passport information and a security picture and all of the stuff that you would normally do like online on the website, you do on the app. So you will need to do it on the app. So at least one person per cabin really needs to have a smartphone.
Yeah.
I heard of a guy that was in a group that I follow about Virgin, and he did it for he and his wife, and that worked out okay, but it was kind of, I guess, it's kind of assumed these days that you have a smartphone.
Well, and it was another thing that was a little bit weird for me, because usually when I would go on a cruise, I would put my phone in the safe and never use it for however long the cruise was. It would go in the safe and I wouldn't turn it on until we got back. But I found it to be useful on Virgin because of the app. The app was able to tell me what was going on where at any given time. I was able to make those reservations.
Right.
If I had anything I needed to get to guest services with, I could get in touch with them via a chat app on that. You can link other people who are on your cruise so that you can chat back and forth with them as well on it. So
handy. And they knew what you were doing in case they wanted to join in, and that was really cool, a cool feature.
Yeah, so you could coordinate with friends that are on the cruise.
So, and also I just found it convenient to take a lot of pictures too, because the phone cameras are getting so good. I really didn't have a problem having my phone with me the
So
whole
if you're
time.
one of the old fuddy-duddies like me who didn't use a phone,
You may want to bring your phone.
You may change your opinion.
Yeah, may find it helpful. Number 6, do I need a passport? I have taken cruises on other cruise lines without a passport. Why is Virgin saying that I need a passport? And this is like a hard stop for Virgin. I know a lot of full closed loop is what they call them when you start at one port and then you get back to that port. A lot of cruise lines will let you have like some kind of official birth certificate and some other photo IDs, and that's okay with them, you know, like check their websites. But that is not okay with Virgin. With Virgin, you're going to need a passport, and it cannot expire within 6 months of your sail date. It's just like a hard no. You need a passport. So make sure you have a passport. You cannot sail without a passport.
Number 7, can I check in on the app or do I have to use my laptop?
You have to use your app. At least one person from your cabin needs to check in for everybody in the cabin, or preferably do your own check-in on the app. I know a lot of other cruise lines, the app and the website talk to each other pretty fluently, and you can pretty much do all your work on the laptop and it'll transfer over to the app, but that's not the case for Virgin. They really put their development time into the app, so you're going to need to use the app to check in. That's kind of also a hard stop. Again, you know, it's the cruise line is kind of for the young and the young at heart, and I guess there was a big assumption that everybody would have a smartphone.
Would have a smartphone and not necessarily a laptop.
Right. So, so yeah, you definitely need to get yourself checked in with that. Number 8, and that we've kind of been like leading up to this one, is do I need a phone while I'm on the ship?
And I think you could hear that you probably do. One thing that we haven't mentioned that is another reason to have the phone is the heavy use of QR codes. They use it for check-in. You can get your menus at the restaurants. They have paper menus they'll bring you. Yeah. As a matter of fact, they were bringing us paper menus, I guess, because I've got a gray beard. Even when I didn't want them, I preferred to use the QR code and get it on my phone because then I could increase the text big enough to see and I didn't have to put my glasses on.
And if you're not familiar with how to use a QR code, what you want to do is you want to turn the phone camera app on and then aim the camera at the QR code. Don't take a picture of it though. Just hold it there for a second, and then there'll be a little link where it connects up with that QR code's information, and then you press that link at the bottom of what would be where the picture
touch the
area.
link, it'll take you to it.
And it'll take you to there. And then the reason we like it is because we don't necessarily have to bring our readers if we do that, because you can expand the menu and see it in bigger type than you can necessarily.
Which is good when you get to a certain age. I know some of you understand.
That's a trick. That's a tip for some of y'all out there.
Number 9. Hey, where's the promenade or main gathering area? I think we've talked about this already.
We kind of gave this one away already. So there kind of isn't a main promenade or area that people gather necessarily. There's the roundabout that kind of has a lot of seating, but there's seating all over, and you just kind of gather wherever you feel comfortable. And you'll find that there's different things going on in different parts of the ship. Sometimes it's back in the dock area, which is in the aft. Sometimes the Rocks has some bands that play outside there. Sometimes the Manor, which is the nightclub, and then sometimes the casino is really hopping. So there's really no main area, and it is because it's a much smaller ship, it doesn't necessarily need one, I think. Yeah. And then every evening there will be parties at the
And the closest thing I guess I saw that was similar to other ships, you know, sort of like, it wasn't a promenade, it was more like the centrum that are on some of the older royal ships.
Yeah.
Was when you first get on, when you first embark onto the ship, there's a spiral staircase that goes downstairs. Right. It's just 2 floors that are connected by a pretty open area, so you can see the 2 of those areas, which was much smaller than some of the larger ships that we've been on.
Yeah.
It was fine. I liked it.
Yeah. So no main gathering area per se, though. Number 10. How much is the drink package?
Well, there is no drink package, so that's right out. You can buy a bar tab. It's $300, and it is $300. You can't buy a smaller bar tab. You need to spend at least the $300. They'll typically throw a little bit of bonus money on top of that. I think right now it's $50. Yeah. But I've seen it be higher.
If you see it at $100 and you want a bar tab, that's the time to buy it.
Yeah, that would be when to grab one. The bar tab is individual, so it's per sailor. It's not per room, and it's not, both of you don't have to have it. Right. So I could buy one, she doesn't have to have one, and I could buy her drinks the whole time. which is another difference. Most of the drink packages that I've used have been, I can get one drink at a time. So I can't go up and buy 5 drinks and take them back to my 5 friends using my drink package to let everybody else drink. In this case, yes, I could buy 5 and take them back, but of course I've got the limited amount. It's only $300.
Right. All right.
But you could buy 2, I guess, if you were a really, really heavy drinker. I don't know that I could drink that much.
Right, and especially in a short cruise, really for the 4 and 5 night cruises, I really think that the 300 plus the 50 or the 100 that they add, if you can get that special, the $100 special, that's really that was enough for us to both drink. And I feel like we were not drinking enough or whatever. Or you can just buy drinks individually too. That's fine too.
And the drinks are reasonably priced too. We sailed out of Miami, so we had drinks in Miami, and the drinks on the ship were less expensive than what we've been paying in Miami.
Far less, like at least $5 a drink less kind of drinks. And the bar tab is you can also get specialty coffees and fresh press juices for that as well. So it's not just cocktails, but I think most people buy it for cocktails. And
you can also use, if you buy what's called Sailor Loot, you can use that to buy drinks with if you want to.
But you cannot use.
But you can't use your bar tab to buy merchandise.
Yeah. So a little confusing, but it's just kind of a different paradigm, I think.
I think it's mostly, and I'm going to get into the mind of Virgin, and I don't know that this is true, but the markup on alcohol is much higher, so it's easier to say, okay, I'm going to give you a little bit of bonus on that than it is to give you a bonus on things that don't have as high a markup.
Yeah, on merchandise.
Number 11. Is there any way to get a discount on the cruise line? I don't know what the answer to this is.
So, yes, there is. They do, there's like wave seasons in the winter, and all of the cruise lines run specials in like January and February. And of course, with the craziness going on, most of the cruise lines have extended their wave season. And in addition to kind of running those wave sales, there's oftentimes if you pay in full, much like 180 days or further out, you get a little bit of a discount. There's also deals you can get with bringing friends on. You can get codes to get they were running a special bring your friend for 200. A lot of times they just bring your friend for 50, but they were running a special deal for 200. So really work with your travel agent or keep checking on the website for when deals are going to happen. And of course, during the non-peak times, just like everybody else, that's when cruises get a little bit cheap. Number 12, does Virgin have traditional entertainment?
No, it's not traditional at all. I was surprised by almost every show that I went to. Surprised and embarrassed by at least one.
Yeah, adult. There's some adult content on Virgin Voyages. So
and even things that I thought I knew what was going to happen. They were okay. There's going to be this show around the pool and everything. Oh, well, that's fun. Show around the pool, and then it's in the pool. So craziness.
Yeah. Scarlet night, a lot of fun. There's a PJ party, a lot of fun. The evening parties.
Right, so there's a pajama party.
There's a pajama party. Usually that's the first night around the pool, and weather permitting, of course. And I guess maybe in the Mediterranean, I don't know if the weather is as good as it is in the Caribbean. But there's also the bands on the ship are bands that were bands outside of the ship, right? A lot of the ships...
They're bands I might go see.
That too. But they're they're... the ones we saw were actual bands that had, one was selling his CD, whatever that is, in the gift shop, and the other one has, of course, downloadable stuff. So it wasn't just I guess house bands that they created, and so I thought that was pretty cool. One of the shows that we saw was the dual reality was kind of a Cirque du Soleil kind of thing. Romeo and Juliet meets Cirque du Soleil, maybe. There was a dance party thing that you stood.
Hard to describe.
Yeah, it was so hard to describe, and so much fun. Don't miss that one. It's all standing, and you go into
just the dance party's all standing. The
other ones are set down.
But they all seem to include a little bit of audience participation.
Yes. So if you are not the kind of person that would want to be drug up on stage, don't sit in the front,
Yeah.
right? Kind of sit in the back and don't make eye contact.
You can observe and be
Yeah.
an observer like you
Yeah.
would at
Yes.
a normal show, but yeah, most of these include some bit of audience participation in all of them.
But it's not the traditional Broadway show tunes. It's not the stuff that you would see on the other ships. And for us, that was like a really nice surprise.
Yeah.
We love the off-Broadway stuff as well, but it was just really interesting to see their spin on entertainment. So if that's really the thing that makes your vacation is to go see a Broadway show, this
You're
is
not gonna have that.
yeah, this is not that. So be open to something different.
Yeah, I think adjust your expectations when you get on. Go, I'm not going to see a Broadway show on this ship.
But I'm going to be open for whatever. But like say, if you're more shy, and no means no, then just sit a little bit further back.
And they're
away from
fine
the
with that,
stage.
too.
Yeah, they are. They're very cool with that. So, but expect the unexpected, definitely on the ship.
Big number 13, brunch. I'm hungry in the mornings.
Yes. And brunch can be a big deal on some of the other cruise lines as well. So they serve brunch on sea days at both the Wake and Razzle Dazzles. Very different.
So the steak and the vegetarian.
Yeah, kind of the extremes. Both are very good, and you can get meat in the Razzle Dazzles, even though it is a veggie forward. It has actually the best bacon on the ship. Ironically,
They have a naughty menu that's meat.
Yeah, it has meat on it. But they do have brunch, and it's not a bad idea to get a reservation for that one too.
Yeah.
And then of course there's high tea the first sea day in the sip area in the afternoon, which is some ships don't do high tea anymore, but they do.
Sips like the champagne bar all the time, so it goes right along with what it is.
Right. Number 14. How will I know where the fun is?
Well, you've got your app that we've been beating like a dead horse. So yeah, you use your app and you can find stuff. You can scroll around and see what's going on at any given time, and there's various different times a lot of the same thing happens, like the board games that she mentioned. That happens at multiple different times. They'll open that up. But you can find that on your app, or you can just wander around. Yeah,
just wander about. If you feel like getting into some trouble, just wander around. There's usually something going on somewhere. There'll be DJs or bands playing or music somewhere.
Performers too. We know we missed it, but I know for a fact that there was a secret magic show. Yeah. If you're in a specific spot on the pool deck, somebody will come along and encourage us.
To that,
a street magician kind of thing will come and invite you to his show.
We also saw some just streetmosphere kind of stuff.
Yeah,
there were people around, doing various things.
Yeah,
so there's stuff going on all over, and then there's the formal stuff that you'll find on the app.
Number 15. Is there a fee for room service?
There is, and I don't know if this still applies, but we found an accidental workaround. One day we ordered breakfast, and I forget what the fee is. Maybe it's $7, something like that.
It was only $5. For the room service. Yeah, I think it was like $7 to deliver it, something like that.
But we ordered a specialty coffee, and then we found that we didn't get charged the extra room service fee on top of the price of the
because we had
coffee.
Purchased something.
So I don't know if that still applies, but
specialty coffee was the cheapest thing you could buy. That was actually you could buy. Mimosas or Bloody Marys or other types of things that were more expensive than that, but that would still bring your breakfast to you for basically free.
Yeah, or a very little price. So there is a fee. Basically, there's a fee, but there's also, we'll let you know after we go back on this fall if that's still a workaround that works. Because we like to have coffee in the morning and just sit out we watch the world go by.
Sit in our hammock.
And which we'll talk about later. And just kind of enjoy the world. So we usually get room service almost daily.
Yeah, on every cruise we go on, so this wasn't just this one.
And they do it in a really cool thing. I've got a video about room service in the little container it comes in, and it's kind of...
It's good too. Cool. The eggs are real eggs. They're not powdered eggs.
Yeah, it was good breakfast.
The food is really good.
It was. I was pretty impressed with what they could do to deliver to the room. So number 16, is there more merchandise in the back?
There might not be, especially with supply chains. You probably want to, if you see something and you like it, buy it.
And get it right then. we definitely saw Virgin merchandise selling out pretty quickly. Anything with the Virgin logos and stuff.
Yeah, like I mentioned that octopus shirt,
Yeah,
which I should have go put on, I guess. But that
we'll wear that in
octopus,
another video.
that octopus shirt sold out for sure,
Yeah.
and the hammocks were selling out.
And I think the Inky, there's a little red squid. He sold out. So there was definitely stuff selling out. And then I think a friend of ours ended up getting the red hammocks were all sold out in the store, but there was like one in a display somewhere I think she managed to get.
Yeah.
So but that was pretty much one-off. Can't count on that happening. So merchandise, especially the Virgin merchandise, does sell out, and the hammocks sell really well. So there don't seem to be a lot of stuff in the back, so don't count on that. Of course you can ask, but don't count on that.
And you can see, once you've been in one of the hammocks, you'll understand why it would sell. When you first see it, you go, well, what is this contraption, and how would that be comfortable? Once you've been in it, you want one. We have one.
17. That hammock. What's the deal with this hammock? Since we're already talking about it.
Yeah. On every balcony room, except I've heard a few of the XLs, that's the extra large ones, because they're at the front of the ship and there's a little too much wind, or they haven't figured out how. Anyway, very few rooms don't have them. But almost every balcony will have a hammock on it. And the hammock, when you first walk out there, because the balcony isn't, well, even on the giant balcony it was like this. It looks almost like a chair. It's very narrow. Yeah. Just laying there, it doesn't look, you're used to seeing a hammock that's stretched out like this.
Right, that you
this
lay down
This was more
in.
like this.
Right.
And you would sit in it, and you thought, okay, well, that's not going to be comfortable until you sit in it, and then you bring your feet up into the bottom of it, and it stretches out, and you just lean back into it. I think we got pictures of me in that.
And me too.
And you too, yeah.
Yeah, it's very comfortable. It's weirdly comfortable, especially when you're on the high seas. It's just very relaxing. It's a really easy place to doze off.
Yeah.
So it's
and much easier to sit in than you think it's going to be at first. You think, oh, I'm
Yeah.
going to break my neck on this, or I'm going to get tangled in it and never be able to get
yeah,
out.
I think we both got in and out of there pretty good. So hammock would recommend.
18. I left my luggage outside the door. Why didn't they pick it up?
So, on basically all the other cruise lines, you put your luggage outside the night before, and they pick it up and take it down for you to pick up in the port. They don't do this on Virgin unless you have gone to your app and you've selected the time to leave. You have to do a disembarking time, and if you want your luggage to be taken away, you need to mark it on the app and let them know and put it out there according to the time. And I think you'll maybe get a luggage tag if you have set that up. But otherwise, most of the people take their luggage off with them, especially for the 4-night and 5 nights. I think
it's shorter.
Most of us are pretty much carrying a small amount of luggage anyway. So if you make sure that if you want your luggage taken off and you just want to pick it down after you get through customs, or as you're going through customs, you want to make sure you arrange that on the app.
Which I guess is a bonus tip. Don't pack a ton of stuff because you're going to carry it off.
Right, because you're probably going to carry it off. So. And so, like, as a kind of a 19, just as a bonus item, if you need something, ask for it. I've found that the staff doesn't really want to get in your face and bother you. They want you to have the relaxing time that you want to have. So if you need something, ask for it on the tablet, ask for it in person. If you need something, seek it, and you probably will be able to get it, but don't expect the staff to really get up in your face and, beat on the door, hey, yeah. I'm here and I want to tip and all that. It's with that gratuity included, I think it just gives them a much more laid back approach, and so they let you kind of set the tone. Yeah.
I think makes for a more relaxing kind of atmosphere too, that as long as you know that's what's going to happen, you don't feel like you're getting ignored.
Right.
And you won't be ignored. They're very nice. Most of them are pretty chatty and pretty personable. I think they hire with that profile in mind.
Right. But if you need something, like, say, check the app, see if you can get somebody to come help you. If it's something that's not an app, summon somebody, go down to guest services. Everybody's super helpful there. Or if you need something like in the restaurant, also, just ask for what you need, and they'll get it. So I guess to conclude with our frequently asked questions, it's a totally different experience than the other cruise lines. It is definitely for a more adventuresome person, people that like adventure, people that are like a little bit more laid back, that want to be less formal, but yet want really nice stuff.
How can I be laid back and adventuresome?
I know. How can you? You just are. We are it. It's you know, people that are a lot of times are a little bit more physical, but well, you wouldn't have to be, because we didn't do any of the fitness stuff and we still had a great time. It's just a more, I think it's a little bit more immersive. It's a premium without being a luxury line. So the food's a premium, the atmosphere is a premium, but yet you don't feel that luxury like you have to wear a tuxedo every night, which you do need to wear suits on some of the luxury cruise lines, and it's definitely not that. It's a very rock and roll feel. And
adult play. There's a lot of things to play with, a lot of things to just reconnect with your inner child.
Yeah, and it can be a little bit cheeky, a little bit adult. Like we were talking about some of the entertainment, like the Never Sleep Alone, that was very mature, a little bit out of my comfort zone. Probably won't go see that one again, but it's definitely something worth your time to try once. But it's definitely a different experience than the other cruise lines.
Yes, it is.
Until next time, live your truth and live well.